While going through a lot of comments about how much everyone liked the last kiss and confession scene from my school president, we thought of discussing it with all of you in terms of what we liked, how we felt, and maybe in the process find out why we liked it. If you're here for the visuals because GMMTV are one of the cutest boys on the face of Earth at present, or the multiverse, but if you're here for that, then we're really sorry to disappoint you, because we're not going to show any scenes from the series. But if you're an overthinker, or even if you just thought about this scene and how it makes you feel at least once, then stick till the end of the video because we are going to have great fun. This is Slightly Funny Overthinking, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. We would appreciate your interaction and responses. Let us know if you agree with us or not. So let's professor up. More often than not, it's the situation that the characters are in at the moment and the circumstances that have led to this point, rather than just the act of physical display of emotions like a hug or a kiss or holding hands, is what breathes life into it. And of course, the writing, the direction, and the execution. If the scene is beautiful and we don't know whether it is the acting, writing, or the direction that made it so, then maybe all of them are great. Towards the end of the series, Tinn and Gun have already faced and conquered obstacles and challenges together. All the people who are important to them are there for them, they support them and are happy for them. They have skirted around the notion of getting closer and teased us many times, but they've been patient because of love and respect for each other. We could say that their relationship sort of begins here in the truest sense of the word, when there's acceptance. They are right there with and for each other. No more hiding, no more holding back. So this is their situation. The scene is shot in Tinn's bedroom, which in itself is an intimate and comfortable setting. We feel that Gun bringing up the scene where Tinn had asked him to look into his eyes was a clever inclusion. Not only did it remind us of another sweet moment between these two, but it also showed us that Gun still remembers it. And he would, because it was probably the first time that he had realized the effect and impact that Tinn had on him, which was very different from a reaction towards an acquaintance or a friend. Tinn's answer that he wanted to see if he blushed, and he actually blushed to death, was sweet. But our hearts skipped a beat when Gun asked him if he was making him blush right then, while looking into his eyes. He was clearly not letting this moment pass. The question could only lead in one direction, and Gun was enticing and encouraging Tinn to keep moving in that direction. The actual kiss was just the right amount of everything. It wasn't dead fish or sleazy or I'll eat you up kind. The length was just right. It was just the right amount of want, passion, desperation, love, warmth, sweetness, smiles, and sensuality. The right amount of physicality and the emotions that this moment required, and which was in sync with their characters. We have always felt that their first kiss would be natural and sweet. Their second kiss would be the passionate one. Of course, after the kiss, the way Tinn got shy and hid his face in Gun's shoulder, and Gun teases him at the same time petting his head, was the sweetest thing. That's Tinn and Gun for you. All we needed now was a confession, and we got it. What made the whole scene special for us is the confession. I have a weird habit of imagining scenarios before they happen if I'm really into a series, which often comes true in parts at least. For example, I imagined or wanted Hart speaking and saying Li Ming's name or I like or love you before the first kiss, and that's how it happened, though the dialogue was different. I had a whole kiss and confession scene planned and written down for Tinn and Gun as well, but in a completely different scenario. Talk about overthinking. Let us know if you want us to read it. In my version and in my head, the confession had to be initiated by Gun. Tinn has done so much for Gun. He has given so much. So the confession had to come from Gun first. Because by this point, Gun had to be almost bursting with the need to love and cherish this amazing person. This would be his way of letting Tinn know that he is there for him as much as Tinn has been for him, and that all of Tinn's feelings are reciprocated. So it was very touching and close to us. It hit home. But right before the confession, there was a moment where Gun stopped teasing. He stopped smiling, and that was a masterstroke. Because in that moment, we felt Gun's contentment, relief, stability, his satisfaction, comfort, and a feeling of belongingness. He was right where he wanted to be, with the person he wanted to be, happy and content to love and be loved. His safe zone. He was home. Tinn was his home. This small pause, this moment is what made the actual confession much more special. It is not to be skipped or to be rushed. The stillness needs to be felt. We were teary-eyed when Gun finally said the words. And then again, there was a moment where Tinn just looked at Gun because he was so surprised. And our eyes got mistier because this selfless, wonderful soul did not expect it. He was okay just being with Gun. Touched us deep inside. And then we were back to the deluge of cheek kisses and playful moments between them, which is again what Tinn Gun's characters are. There was also a tiny little neck kiss which made us sigh. We will sigh again if you could share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Hope we haven't forgotten anything. Please feel free to tell us your thoughts on the scene and our discussion about it. Although it wasn't a discussion because it was just a chat from our side. But we would love it to become a discussion, so do share your opinions. We love to hear it. So see you soon and be well.